Hello, hungry people, and welcome to the Science of Barbecue and Grilling with Meathead, presented by Kingsford. I'm Jenny Johnson.
And I'm Meathead, and we're real lucky to have with us today Jack Vogt from Tony Roma's famous Ribs and Barbecue.
Thanks, Meathead. Glad to be here.
Okay, so today we're making perfect pulled pork, and the recipe is online at amazingribs.com/videos. So Jack, what do we have here?
We have a pork butt cut from the shoulder.
So it's not a butt.
No, it's a really complex set of muscles from up here, not down there. And Jack, tell us what we've got here.
On the outside here, we have the money muscle connected to the CT butt. Then on the top, we have the blade meat, and there's a shoulder blade.
Okay, and so to cook it, we're gonna get rid of some of this excess fat, yeah?
Yes.
This is a really perfect piece of meat for making pulled pork. It's got a lot of connective tissue which melts at high temperatures, and it's got a lot of intramuscular and intermuscular fat which also melts. So you get this rich, succulent meat. If you use loin or something else, it's very lean and you don't get the rich mouthfeel that you get from the butt.
Now it's time to season. Start with some salt.
Right. General rule of thumb, a half a teaspoon of kosher salt per pound of meat, or a little less for regular table salt since it's more concentrated. And salt is really special. It gets down into the meat and holds the moisture in there. So we always put this on, and if you can get this on the night before, that's even better. Then you're gonna put the rub on there, and this is Meathead's Memphis Dust, and it's just a blend. You can't buy it in the store. You can make it though. It's on the website, and it's a good seasoning rub for on the surface, and it flavors the meat and helps create that crunchy bark that everyone loves. And so we're gonna get this, a good heavy coat of that, Jenny. Don't be shy with it. And then we're gonna take it to the cooker.
Woo!
So here I'm gonna dump in some of the regular blue bag Kingsford charcoal. And then I'm gonna take some crumpled up newspapers, put it under the chimney, light them, and in about 10 or 15 minutes, these will be all white and ready to go.
All right, so for a video about different types of charcoal, the best ways to start your fire, and how to use wood for flavor, just go to amazingribs.com/videos. Charcoal time?
Charcoal time. Today we're cooking with one of my favorite smokers. It's called the Pit Barrel Cooker, and it is really nifty. It's just a 30-gallon barrel, and you fill the coal hopper up with dead coals and pour on some hot coals.
Nice.
And it goes up to about 250 to 275 and holds that temperature rock solid.
Nice.
Yeah, so now we're gonna put the butt right in there.
The butt or the shoulder, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Now, this is about 7 or 8 pounds of pork butt. I'm gonna put a thermometer down in here so we know what temperature the oven is.
All right, so how long are we cooking this pulled pork for?
This is the weird part, dude. This stuff can take 8 to 12 hours depending on how thick it is and the temperature you're cooking at. So it's really important to have a good thermometer in here. And we're starting at 38 degrees right out of the refrigerator. Patience
is a virtue.
Is the most important thing in cooking a good pork butt for pulled pork. It takes time. This meat will cook slowly but surely until it reaches about 150, 160 degrees.
And then there's a stall.
The pork evaporates, and as it evaporates, it cools. And cooling the meat and heating at the same time, it reaches an equilibrium where the temperature just doesn't go up. It just sticks for hours, and people freak. They say, why isn't my meat cooking? It is. What's happening is the surface is drying out and it's forming the bark, and it's eventually going to start cooking. We can prevent that if we want. There's a trick called the Texas crutch. You can wrap it in foil. Once you wrap it in foil, then it can't sweat, can't evaporate, and it'll power right through the stall. Or we can just let it go. And if you let it go, you get a really good bark. If you wrap it in foil, the bark's not quite as good, but it cooks a lot faster. Isn't that a thing of beauty?
Okay, smell test?
Smell test. Oh, my goodness.
Okay, so Meathead, this was cooked at a really high heat.
Yeah, we take it all the way up to 203, which is what you need to do to melt the collagens and the connective tissues, the fats, and it gets really what we call wubba wubba.
Jiggly.
Jiggly. Look
Okay,
at that.
so now it's time for the bear claws.
And we're gonna shred it, pull it. Now, some people like to slice it, some people like to chop it. I like to shred it. I don't think it loses as much moisture that way. And look at that, it's just falling apart.
Wow.
Look, that's the blade bone.
Falls right off the bone.
Literally. That's the blade, the shoulder blade that Jack showed us. Oh man, look at that. And the bark, isn't that gorgeous?
Shred away, my man.
I think you need to tell me if that bark is up to standards. Hot.
That's good.
Bark whoop?
Mm-hmm. Shred away, bud.
Okay. Look at this. It just melts. Look at how juicy that is, tender. Look at how moist that is. A pile of juicy, tender, delectable pulled pork.
Almost time to eat.
Oh, it is time to eat. A lot of people like to soak the meat with barbecue sauce. I like to taste the pork. So I just pile it on thick and deep, and then I pour a little bit of sauce on top. Nice thick sauce right on top, and that's all I want.
All right, Meathead, this pulled pork was well worth the wait.
I'll say, this is just gorgeous. Look at all that beautiful bark. And remember, cooking for others is an act of love. And the most important part of the meal is not what's on the plate, but who's in the chairs.